Hey, you guys, welcome again to another video. And as always, really appreciate you on tuning in. And we really do here. Just came across this article here. As many of you are aware that there have been massive protests that have been taking place all across the United States and even in other countries as well. That is anti-Zionism. It is not anti-Jewish. And as much as they want to try to change the language to make it seem as this is anti-Semitic and it's anti-Jews, it is not. This is anti-Zionism, meaning that people are rising up and they are making it known that they are against the aggression that is taking place in Gaza. Social media has been full of many examples of the aggression that is taking place there. Now, for me and on this platform, we're not here to tell you to take any sides, that you're pro this or anti that. It's pretty much up to you. We try to stay out of that and we go right deeper into the facts of the matter on this whole entire situation. And for us to do that, more often than not, we can't even share all of that on this platform on YouTube, because they'll take us down once we really start getting into the real deal on this stuff. And so that's why we're very grateful for our platform over on mybondtube.com, where we can really just lay all of this stuff out for real. And but anyway, yeah, so what's been going on in Gaza, like I've been seeing things on Twitter. The Christians are starting to rise up and they're saying that we're going to do our Hamas, protests as if you're anti-Zionist, that means you're pro-Hamas. No, that is not the case at all. You have Jews. All you got to do is go to places like in Brooklyn, New York. You got a ton of Jewish people that live in those communities throughout Brooklyn and other places in New York and other places as well that are against the aggression that Israel has been demonstrating in Gaza and in other places throughout what we call the Middle East. And they're making it very known. And, a lot of these college campuses that are voicing out their displeasure, or their anti this aggression, you've been seeing it on the news a lot. And like we said on our recent broadcast, again, don't think for one moment this stuff isn't organized. It is very organized. And the powers that shouldn't be ultimately are controlling both sides of this narrative. I assure you of that. That's why I said, for people who on our platform here that follow us, it's best to look at it from a distance. I would not advise people to the next time there's a protest in your community or city that you launch in and be an active part of it, because I'm telling you right now, there are some pictures, and we'll post them on our community page, where you actually have snipers. People have been taking pictures of snipers that are on top of buildings on some of these colleges. One in particular is University of Ohio. Someone grabbed a picture of snipers up there, and then there was another, I think Indiana University, they have people up there. Now these are probably, military, people who are basically called by the state that are there just to keep an eye on things before things go off. Maybe not. We don't know. But you don't want to be in a situation where you got snipers around you. Okay. You don't want to do that. So, yeah. So again, I really emphasize to people, again, you got people, the powers that shouldn't be are playing both sides of this. One other thing, and then we'll get into the article here. You'll hear people will automatically focus in on some of these protesters that you're seeing are communist or Marxist or whatever. And so again, people want you to get focused on choosing a side. You're either a communist or a Marxist, or you're pro-Israel. It's like that kind of thing. But for our people here, let's be very clear. Okay. We're not going to fall into that. We're going to be very wise and we're going to be smart. Who started communism and Marxism? All you have to do is that's a 1-second search, and you'll see that the people who started communism and Marxism are the same people who are the Zionists. It's one and the same. It's the same people on both sides. One is playing the victim, the other is playing the aggressor. And this is why we say, again, you got to be smart about this and don't, throw yourself into this situation, because I really do think that what's happening right now is that a situation is being created. This is a red flag kind of event that's happening right now. A situation is being created. All it takes is one idiot to get out there with a gun or something like that, say something very derogatory that's very targeted, that says, hey, I hate the Jewish people or whatever, and start shooting. And then all it takes is that. And then from there, you're going to see governments all over begin to start saying, okay, this is our red herring. We're going to start pushing all kinds of legislation, and we're going to make it very clear that we are against that kind of talk, and so all they're waiting for is for the temperature to reach a certain temperature. And from there, I guarantee you, it's just a matter of time. All it takes is one incident to pop off, and you're going to start seeing our government move faster than a bat out of hell to start moving massive amount of legislation and all that stuff. That's why we're strongly advising our people to be smart, taking account of the things I just shared, like who's the players behind each side, and don't launch yourself into it. Okay. So that's that. And we'll continue to cover this whole situation, as it's developing. But anyway, I came across a video that I found to be very interesting here. And I'm going to share that video, but I want to make sure that we give credit to the news platform that actually, posted this video, and that is Capital B of Atlanta. Okay. And, because I wanted to make sure, because they actually there's a website, and they also have their own article. And I want to make sure that people know where the video that I'm about to play, where it actually came from, because the person that did this article, Chauncey Alcorn, he actually has an article, and he also has some other videos that he posted on Twitter, and you can check out those other videos. But let's just read a little bit of this, and I'll put the link in the description too, so you can go check out his article. But it says, so anyway, it's talking about something that just Morehouse College now, this issue is starting to come up. So apparently Biden, who's desperate for black votes, is considering going to Morehouse College to do a speech there. Well, the students at Morehouse College are like, we don't want him here, especially what's going on in, between this war between Israel and Gaza. And some of these points that these young men are bringing up are very valid. And these are points that platforms like ours and others have been bringing up for a long time too. So let's get into the article, and we'll just read a little bit of it. Okay. And you can read the rest of it at the link below. Morehouse college students packed the campus auditorium Tuesday evening to voice their anger at the decision to invite President Joe Biden to deliver the historically black institution's commencement address next month. Most of the estimated 50 students in attendance at Tuesday's meeting expressed outrage and frustration at Biden's support for Israel in its war against Hamas. The conflict has killed more than 34,000 Palestinian civilians since October. Students who spoke Tuesday expressed horror at the images of dead Palestinian women and children that have been seen on social media. Only one student in attendance defended Biden's scheduled appearance. Let's see. Some worried that giving Biden a platform at Martin Luther King Jr.'s alma mater could damage the school's reputation. How could you justify what you're going to bestow on Biden on our behalf? Morehouse senior Jason May asked President David A. Thomas during Tuesday's town hall, noting that Biden is also due to receive an honorary degree in accordance with the tradition for Morehouse commencement speakers. He characterized the president as basically a war criminal and argued that giving him a platform at Morehouse makes the school complicit in what is happening in Gaza. 100% of what this young man is saying. 100%. He is correct. The tensions at Morehouse exemplify how some student activists' anger at the Biden administration is causing upheaval on college campuses. This week, hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters are were arrested. In-person classes were canceled at Columbia University in New York. Okay, we've already talked about that. All right. Thomas made it clear during the emergency town hall meeting that he won't rescind his invitation to Biden despite backlash from students and faculty over the preceding 24 hours. So the president of Morehouse is basically saying, what butt cheek do you want to kiss? Because I don't care. Even though you are paying my salary and you guys are paying tuition here, I don't care what you say. We're going to get Massa Biden up in here. At HBCUs, no classes have been canceled, and there has been no indication that Thomas's job is in jeopardy at Morehouse. Still, the anger over Biden's visit reflects a political challenge to a president whose reelection hopes might ride on black voters, many of whom disagree with his policies on the war. Okay, and then it goes on. I don't want to take too much away. I want people to come here and they can read it. But what I'm going to do now, let me play the video because it's really something, to see these young men standing up and actually taking this president to task on this issue. And the final clip that you're going to see, it's going to be very interesting because you're going to see one of the students ask the president point blank a question. And I want you to take note of how this school president, how he answers and how he responds to it. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
Now I'm being told that we need to use our platform as Morehouse men. Why are we using it to support someone who hasn't been supporting Palestine and Gaza and things like that? How are we being global cosmopolitan citizens? What precedent does that set for freshmen?
There's a possibility of a genocide happening. And we're seeing our government continually sending more and more weapons, 2,000-pound bombs that are being dropped on whole neighborhoods, schools being destroyed, hospitals being destroyed.
We condemn what's happening, man. Children is dying. Innocent people being blown up. And you can see the videos and you can't deny the videos. And we don't condemn that. You say, well, the world might not see it as, oh, we complicit. We see it as we complicit. We the students telling you, we see it as that's being complicit. Do y'all see that as complicit? Yes, sir. Yes. That's complicit. That's complicit in genocide. Do you think it's a genocide or not? Let me just ask a question everybody wants to hear. Do you think it's a genocide or do you not think it's a genocide what's happening in Gaza? Simple yes or no. That's all I want. Yes or no. Is it a genocide or not? Of your personal, professional opinion, as an educator, as a man of this country, what do you think? Are the people of Gaza being genocided, or are they not?
I'm not going to answer that question.
So you heard yourself. He's not going to answer that question. I mean, the obvious is there. Of course, there's a genocide that's happening right now. And these people have been very, very clear about that. OK, this is not just a matter of opinion. Their mandate is the Torah. Their mandate is the promise that they believe that God has given them to wipe out people that are what they believe are on land that is God given to them. And so they are using what's stated in the Torah, the example that has been given in the Torah, as far as wiping out all the people, the Gentiles out of their land so that they can once again take a rightful place in their land. That's where it comes from. So when you read the accounts of Joshua and Caleb and all of them, as they were going in and wiping out men, women, and children and babies and all of that, and the animals and everything, they're doing exactly what's stated in the Bible or in the Torah, and so that's what they're walking on. And this is the point that I continuously make. If you are a person that 100% is in agreement with the Bible, in other words, that's what you stand on, no questions asked at all, by default, that makes you in alignment with the Zionist agenda, which means that you are okay with them wiping out people, in these different lands, period. End of discussion. I mean, there's really no way around that. And it's quite sad, amusing. I don't know what words you want to use when you hear different people try to delineate themselves and say, hey, listen, that's not me, then that's not my people, and but I still stand on everything that says in this book. You can't do that. If you still stand on it, you're also standing on the agenda, and the agenda is very clear. This is why you have a lot of Christians out here today that are taken to the streets, and are in 100% support of what's happening right now as far as Israel's aggression towards the people of Gaza and everything else. And so it's just what it is. You cannot get around that. So, but I thought his response was very interesting and quite telling, because an article goes on to talk about how he says, hey, listen, I'm not bought. Nobody's bought me out or anything like that. This is what the president of Morehouse is saying, that, nobody bought him out or anything like that. But yet you won't answer the question, which means somebody did. Something is at stake. There is a lot at stake for you, because you won't answer the question. That's a direct yes or no question, like the young man said. So I just wanted to bring this up to you, and I thought this was very interesting, because we've been hearing a lot from a lot of these Ivy League schools, some of these other, Division I type schools on this topic. But, I've been waiting to hear what is going on some of these HBCUs, and to hear, the students, at least in this case, that are engaged in it, and they're asking specific questions, and they're pointing to facts. That is something that is of note, and nobody in their right mind can listen to these students and accuse them of being anti-Jewish. They are not that at all. They are just against, and they are tired of Western aggression. And and anybody with a long memory will remember when the United States was going against Iraq, when the wars were going on in Iraq and everywhere else. It was students that were standing up against United American aggression. This is no different. What's going on in Texas, for example, someone brought up a very good point. It's very interesting that Texas stumbling and fumbling, trying to figure out how to secure the border. But when it comes to just taking a stance against Zionism, not against Jewish people, but against Zionism, if you have a problem with the aggression, the military aggression of another, it's not even a country, it's a state. When you have a problem with their aggression tactics, then the state of Texas has a problem with you. And they're going to send their National Guard to make sure that you sit down. That is very telling when it comes to not just the state of Texas, but our country in of itself. And we've talked about this in great detail, and I look forward to our future conversations on that. But I don't want to make this video any longer. I hope you got something out of this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, and we'll be talking again soon.